Hello, sixth graders. Today we are looking at fractions and percent, and our goal is to convert between fractions or mixed numbers, decimals, and percents. Some new vocab, fractions and percent words that we need to know. One of them is a ratio. This is a comparison of two quantities by division. For example, 3/20ths, 48/100ths. And a percent is when a ratio compares a number to 100. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Equivalent ratios, these are two ratios that have the same value. So for example, 3/20ths and 15/100ths, those are equivalent because they have the same value. If we think about this word percent here, if we think about money, there are 100 cents in a dollar. So percent would mean per 100. So a percent is a part to a whole ratio that compares a number to 100. So once we have a fraction like this out of 100, whatever the numerator is, that's the percent, right? So if we get 90 out of 100, that is 90%. If I have 5 out of 100, that's 5%. Okay, again, percent means per 100, and then this is the symbol that we use when we're talking about a percent. Fractions and percents are ratios that can represent the same number, and that's what I was saying, the 90 out of 100, that is equal to 90%. They have the same value. When we're looking at writing a fraction as a percent, here on the side, these are our steps. The first thing is to change the denominator to be 100. Since percents are out of 100, we need to make the bottom 100. Whatever we multiply the bottom by, we're going to multiply the top by the same number. Then you drop the denominator and add a percent sign. So whatever your numerator is, that is the percent. So here's our example, 3/20ths. If I multiply the top and bottom by 5, that's going to make my denominator be 100, and 3 times 5 is 15. Now that my denominator is 100, this is my percent. So that would equal 15%, which you can see here, they are showing the same amount. Just one was split into 20ths, where the other one was split into 100. All right, let's try these next ones. 17/20ths. I know that I can multiply 20 by 5 and get to 100. So then if I do the same thing with my top number and take 17 times 5, which is 85 over 100, again, drop the denominator, and whatever your numerator is, that's your percentage. So that would be 85%, and then we add the percent sign on there. If it's asking for a percent, our answer needs that percent sign. 3/5, I know that I can multiply 5 by 20 to get to 100. That's always the goal, make the bottom number 100. So again, I'm going to multiply the top by 20, so that would be 60 over 100, which then, whatever your numerator is, that is the percent. So 60%. Next one, feel free to pause and try this one on your own, and then watch through and see if you got it correct. 2/25ths, I know I can multiply 25 times 4 to get to 100, so I'll do the same to the top. And 2 times 4 is 8/100ths. Now that the denominator is 100, then the numerator would be our answer with 8%. So that's always the goal, make the denominator 100. Now going the other direction, if we are starting with a percent and we want to write it as a fraction, here are our steps. Drop the percent sign, put the number over 100, because again, percents are out of 100, and then simplify. So 48% as a fraction, well, we would write it as 48 over 100, and then we simplify. So I know I can divide both of these by 2, which would be 24 over 50, because 48 divided by 2 is 24, 100 divided by 2 is 50. And then I know I can divide again by 2. So 24 divided by 2 is 12, 50 divided by 2 is 25, 12/25ths, I think then is in simplest form. Nothing else that they can both be divided by other than 1. You try these next ones. Pause, watch through it, and then check your answers. 40%, put the number over 100, and then simplify. I know I can divide the top and bottom by 10, which would be 4 over 10, and I can divide again by 2, which would be 2/5, and that then is in simplest form. 6%, put the number over 100, and simplify. I know I can divide both of them by 2, which would be 3 over 50. And I think then that would be in simplest form. Next one, 23%. Again, write the percent over 100. And 23 is prime, and 100 is not divisible by 23. So then that is my fraction in simplest form. Couple more for you to try on your own. So pause, try them, and then watch through. 2/5 I can multiply by 20 to get to 100, which would become 40 over 100. And then it's just your numerator as the answer, 40%. Next one, 20 times 5 is 100. 17 times 5 then was 85 over 100, which is 85%. The next one's writing them as a fraction. Put the percent over 100, and then simplify. I know I can divide both of them by 4 to start with here. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. That's in simplest form. Next one, 4%. Again, put the percent over 100, and then simplify. I'm going to divide them both by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 100 divided by 4 is 25. And the last one, 100%. Percent always goes over 100. I didn't leave myself enough room, divide both of these by 100, which would be 1 for our final answer. That's it for our lesson here on converting between fractions and percents. Go back, rewatch if you are still stuck. Make sure to have your notes in class.